drive forthcoming. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and it's polished off by a touchdown for San Francisco. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field in this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
5 yards on the catch there brings up second down. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Jackson going deep for Diggs. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 38, and his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. This defense had 3 interceptions last week. They're on pace for more than that here, 2 in the first half.
Do not adjust your set. This is not instant replay. This is a defense that is locked in. They're essentially running the routes for the receivers and turning it into the receivers themselves, aren't they? I mean, it is amazing what I'm seeing because the reactions of those guys back on the back 7, phenomenal.
A gain of 3, second down. On second down, it's Jordan. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the NFL. Man open, Rice. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Boy, nowhere to go at all on that first down run as they will get to him behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down. Looking to throw on second down. Wilder, and that'll be incomplete. Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. And who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
On third down, Wilder. Throw left side complete. That's Jordan. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 15 for the Niners there and a first down. Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. Flush to his right. This is caught. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he's able to get on the run and was still.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a San Francisco touchdown. A great effort there with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. Extra point right down the middle.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. An extra DB for the 49ers now on third. To throw is Jackson. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Lucas. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now it's Jackson. Incomplete, and we're down to 8 seconds now. So line of scrimmage still at 39 on 2nd and 10. Now Jackson to throw again. He's going to have the hook up to Ross. And, he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march off another 15 against your squad.
And this one is no good. He missed it. And this score will stay right where it is. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. It's the 49ers out in front, and they will get the football first as well as we are back and started in the second half. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. The 49er offense, they're coming back out onto the field, and we're going to give you a look at the playoff picture now into the weekend in the NFC. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that #1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it, this team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that #1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through, and I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs. I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Wilder. And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete. Add this game to the last one, and they moved the ball over 50 yards in 2 plays. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. 2nd and 14.
I have zero rooting interest in
and across the chalk into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. As his guys are in for 6, as his guys continue to pour it on. You and I have seen some great catches throughout our days calling these games. A spectacular grab there, just a receiver making a wonderful play.
When there's a chance to get 6 points on the board, you see a little extra effort sometimes. A terrific layout to go get the football.
Now for the point after. And they're able to up the lead by one more. That drive goes 80 yards in 6 plays. And the end result for the 49ers, a touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Watch that in, tight end's right.
From the gun, Jackson. The open man is Smith. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. They get 14 there. First down, Vikings.
Tight on this side, boys. Tight on the left. Tight on the left. Move. Let's go.
A first down carry for Smith. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
Ready? 70, Indy. I hope you brought your lunch because I'm about to take you to school. Ready?
Here's Presley. 3 yards on the pickup there, and they've got it back to 3rd and 10.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Now the throw on third down, knocked away and incomplete.
Well, we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And last time out, another touchdown, and I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the fourth quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport. The road to be fairly clear by the time we have to leave the booth.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards.
Just more of the same there, partner. Guys have just been running free in the secondary this entire game. No pass rush, a lot of passes completed. Been an easy day for them.
He's checking crack.
They go play action here on first down. That'll be caught by Rice. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? 13 yards there and a Niner first. This quarterback now 13 out of 17 throwing the ball. He's got a first down. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. To throw again. Wilder. That's complete to his receiver, Pettis. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. Dante Pettis, his 5th touchdown now on the year, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Great corner route there. Not only able to catch it, turn it upfield, and get into the end zone.
It usually involves a little bit of an extra move, doesn't it? You've got to get them thinking that you're moving to the middle of the field and you're breaking away to that corner. Boy, that was well executed.
Extra point attempt to follow here. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. 5 plays there on that drive. And it's polished off by a touchdown for San Francisco. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Looking to throw again on second down. Jackson, and that is incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those 2 elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
That's good for 9 yards as they convert on the 3rd down play. This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Play action. Now Jackson. Blitz coming, and down he goes. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Back now here in Santa Clara. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Throwing on 2nd and long. Jackson. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. Jackson from the shotgun. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
And San Francisco gets set to go here. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we can probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number 1 for what we've seen this season.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Now a handoff looking right. Now the ball comes loose, and this belongs to the Vikings. Anything to make of this, or just a bad stretch? Because he had the 2 fumbles he lost last week, and now a 3rd.
It's a bad stretch, but it's one that he has to make sure he overcomes. This isn't on anyone else but him. Taking care of the ball, tucking it away, keeping it
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeForest Buckner in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17.
Ready? Now.
Jackson. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. The catch and run pays off to the tune of 35 yards. Now a play fake here on 1st down. 20! On the crossing route, complete. That's Rice. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Back to throw. Wilder. And it's complete. In the end zone. Touchdown 49ers. A 1-yard touchdown reception as his guys continue to pour it on. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Extra point splits the uprights, and that will extend this big lead. So the drive there, 5 plays, 80 yards. And the end result for the 49ers, a touchdown. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. To throw is Jackson, operating from the gun. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. They could not contain Kenny Clark as he gets home for the sack.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
A good pickup there, 26 yards. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Nick Bosa in there to take him down on what will take us to the 2-minute warning. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They face a third down now as they try to find a late score. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Niners will take over at the 20. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
They'll keep it on the ground. Jordan. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
And he is out of bounds inside the 30. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Now they'll run it on the toss. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at him turn.
And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. Now San Francisco going to call their 2nd timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play.
Watch the pass.
That one looks like he'll throw here. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Needs something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down. Went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Over the middle, that's caught by Owens. And now with 6 seconds remaining, they're going to burn their final timeout. On 1st and 10, Wilder to the end zone, but it's incomplete. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing again, Wilder. And this will be caught. We'll forget taking the knee. Some late gamesmanship here as they throw for a late touchdown. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that's leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Now the final act of this victory, the extra point. It's up and good, and they add one more to what will wind up a fairly lopsided victory. So we had action to the very end of this one. The score on the final play that they didn't need to have. They didn't just run out the clock, though. They added to their final total.
Played it all the way to the end. And, you know, some coaches preach that and tell their teams, that's what I want all the time. And they feel like if they don't do it themselves, they're not living up to the message that they're sending out.
So for the Niners, they're now a win away from a perfect regular season as they move to 15-0. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, the slide continues as they drop now to 3-12. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.